chapter 13, verse 21 to 30. After Jesus had said this, he was troubled in spirit and testified, "Very truly I tell you, one of you is going to betray me." His disciples stared at one another at a loss to know which of them he meant. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, "Ask him which one he means." Leaning back against Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." Then dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. So Jesus told him, "What you are about to do, do quickly." But no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him. Since Judas had charge of the money, some thought Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the festival or to give something to the poor. And as soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out, and it was night. John chapter 18, verses 1 to 14. When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side, there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and the Pharisees. They were carrying torches and lanterns and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, he went out and asked them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "I am he," Jesus said, and Judas, the traitor, was standing there with them. When Jesus said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. And again he asked them, "Who is it that you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they said. Jesus answered, "I told you that I am he. If you are looking for me, then let these men go." This happened so that the words he had spoken would be fulfilled. "I have not lost one of those you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Jesus commanded Peter, "Put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" Then the detachment of soldiers with its commander and the Jewish officials arrested Jesus. They bound him and brought him first to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jewish leaders that it would be good if one man died for the people. That's God's word. And John Joe is going to come and do something different. He's going to bring out an imaginative story that reflects what you've just heard. And after he's done that, he's going to give us a time of silence to reflect and make our own responses. So I'm going to move some things around in the stage, and John Joe is going to come.
That traitor, that rat, that snake, that pig, that two-timing, double-crossing, lying son of a traitor! Oh! Have you heard what Judas has just done? What Judas has just done tonight? He sold us out. He sold us out. He sold Jesus out. could he do this? How could Judas do this, the traitor? Does he not remember anything that we've been through? Does the last 3 years mean nothing to him? I mean, day after day, we have lived in one another's lives. I've eaten with him. I've drunk with him. We even slept next to each other on the boat once. Has he forgotten all of this? Does he not remember? Does he not remember the joy that we saw on that disabled man's face when he could walk again after 38 years? When he could jump again? When he could dance again? Does Judas not remember that? Or does he not remember when we took somebody's snacks and turned it into a meal for thousands? I mean, everyone was gobsmacked. We were gobsmacked. Does he not remember that? Or does he not remember when we saw Lazarus rise from the dead? I mean, he was standing next to me when we both saw Lazarus stagger out of the tomb after 4 days, still wearing his grave clothes. Has Judas forgotten that too? Has he forgotten all of it? I mean, he was my brother. I loved him like family. I trusted him. We trusted him. Jesus trusted him. And for what? So we could be sold out? Oh, the traitor! I mean, we trusted him so much that we even gave him all of our money. Money. Oh, I've always wondered if Judas had a thing for money. Oh, is that what it was, Judas? Did you sell us out to get you 50 pieces of silver? Yeah, right, okay. Or if it wasn't that, I'm sure it was something else equally as worthless. To avoid embarrassment, or to improve my future prospects, or maybe to get a nice field somewhere and retire. Oh yeah, is that what it was, Judas? Well, whatever it was, I'm sure it was worth betraying your family for, you traitor! You know, now that I think about it, there was an incident last week that raises a big red flag. I didn't think of it at the time, but we were over in Bethany having dinner with Lazarus and his family when Mary comes out of a side room with this jar of perfume. And as she comes out, she opens the stopper and the smell that filled the room. You could tell that this was real perfume, not this watered down rubbish you get at the markets. No, this was pure perfume, and a whole pint of it. And Mary comes out, and she has this perfume, and she kneels down next to Jesus and pours the whole thing out over his feet. And then when she's finished, she takes her hair and uses it to tenderly dry his feet. Oh, it was beautiful. All of us were caught up in the moment, the beauty of what we were seeing, breathing in the smell of perfume that filled the air. All of us, that is, except Judas, who was thinking about, you guessed it, the money. Oh, Jesus, we should have sold this perfume and given the money to the poor, he said. Now, at the time, I thought he had a point. I mean, this was expensive perfume, and there was a lot of perfume that had just been poured out. But now I wonder if Judas cared more about turning a profit than helping the poor. Well, I guess after tonight, I have my answer. I guess that explains why he left dinner early as well. I mean, what a strange dinner that was. Firstly, Jesus washes all of our feet, and then he got really sad, and he said that one of us would betray him. Oh, my goodness. He knew. Jesus knew. I mean, we were all sitting there wondering what he was going on about. We were all saying, oh, I'm not going to betray Jesus. Are you going to betray Jesus? None of us were going to betray Jesus. We didn't know what he was talking about. But he knew. This whole time he knew. He knew? If he knew, why didn't he stop this? Why didn't he stop this pain for us? This pain for him? If he knew, why didn't he stop Judas? Instead, he just gave Judas a morsel of food. That's a sign of honor. And then he sent Judas out into the night. We thought Judas was going to get ready for the festival this week. I guess he was going to sell us out instead. The traitor. Well, the next we see of that snake, we're in the garden. You know, the one on the other side of the Kidron Valley? Oh, lovely place. Nice and quiet and peaceful. That is until a certain traitor shows up guiding hundreds of Roman soldiers straight to us. I mean, can you believe that? Firstly, here we are, a group of 12 people, and they send hundreds of Roman soldiers to arrest us? What, are they scared or something? But then secondly, can you believe the nerve of that man? I mean, he must have known that we would be in the garden. That's one of Jesus' favorite places. But to guide hundreds of soldiers straight to us? Oh, the traitor! When they arrive, Jesus, he's level-headed. He goes out to speak to them all. And at that point, I realize for the first time that there are two sides. There are two sides. On this side, there's Jesus, there's me, and there's the other 10 of us. And on that side, there's the soldiers, there's the priests, and there's Judas? Judas, our brother, who until recently had been with us through everything, now stands over there with them? I mean, we know what the soldiers and the authorities think about us, what they think about Jesus. Does Judas now think that about us as well? Has Judas thrown in his lot with them? Jesus once said, I am the light of the world. Well, if that's the case, then Judas has chosen the darkness. Judas has seen the light and he's chosen the darkness. Jesus has lived with the light for 3 years and he's still chosen darkness? I mean, not just chosen darkness, now he stands against the light. How could he do this? How could he see the light and choose the darkness? How could anybody see the light but choose the darkness? I don't know if he's ignorant, if he's blind, if he's scared. I know what he is, though. He's a traitor. Well, after that, things went downhill pretty quickly. Because of him, they arrested Jesus and they brought him here to Annas' place. And now we're just waiting to see what's going to happen next. I still don't get it, though. I don't understand. How could Judas betray us? How could he betray Jesus? How could he do that after everything we've been through? How could he see the light but choose the darkness? And what did he choose it for? For money? For an easier life? How could anyone be so weak? How could anyone be so treacherous? How could anyone betray Jesus, the man who has only ever shown us love? This man is a traitor. That's how. A traitor. You mark my words. I would never betray Jesus. I'm not some traitorous, low-life, lying piece of scum like Judas. No, I will never betray Jesus. And if I get, what? Yeah, I'm coming. Look, you tell Judas that Peter is looking for him. And when I get my hands on him, he's gonna wish he were dead. I'm coming. You got that? Right. What? No, I'm not one of his disciples.